Alright, so this video has been requested, and we're going to go over the way pretty much that I was taught for proper care, maintenance, and using of your clippers. So here I have both my cordless clippers and I have a corded pair. So, and these both are the detachable ones. So if you push this little lever here for these ones, pull back at the top of the blade, you can remove it. And the next blade would go on pretty much in reverse. Sometimes it does not set all the way down in, and that's because where it was left off or stopped on this blade is off on this one. So you would just turn your clippers on and push down, and then it will engage. So that's for the blades. Oops. So I also like to have a toothbrush or a little brush that I don't use on the dogs. That way I can clean out the hair in between the little teeth if it happens to get stuck, or if I'm cleaning a sandy area and some stuff we don't want gets stuck in there, whether it's feces or urine crusted hair, we can clean it out. And I'll also keep on hand a coolant. I know some people are for these, some people are not. This one obviously is a 5-in-1, as well as a disinfectant, coolant, lubricant cleaner, and all that's good stuff. If you are not going to use any coolant or anything like that, you want to make sure to have multiple blades of the same size, so that if they were to get warm or hot, which they can, you can change them out, and therefore you don't have to put any clipper coolant or cleaner on there. There's also a blade cleaner, like this one. It helps to clean, it helps to prevent rust. It has all these wonderful things in it. And for this, you would, I usually take it out of this container and I put it into a second container, and then you will take, let's see if I can clean some, your blade that you're going to clean. You're going to put it onto your clippers. You're going to turn it on, and you're going to dip it into that oil so that it comes right up above here, and you'll see everything like come right out of it, all the hair, anything in there that might be gunking it up. And then what I like to do is take a hand towel or a face cloth, and I roll it up on one side, and then I lay the blades on it, so that, and I usually do it at the end of the day, so that it has time to drain off during the night. And that way I'm not working with blades that are completely covered in this. And it does fairly well that way. So the other point I wanted to make on this little video is that something else we can do, and I was taught years ago, is this little piece here is considered, or is called, a blade drive assembly. And both this one, this cordless and this corded, as you can see, pretty much have the identical one. So it's pretty easy to replace. You just buy your part. It comes in one of these little packages. This one has all the instructions on it. And then on my corded pair, it's a little easier, so we'll use it. This little piece slides off. And then this here is your blade drive assembly. So it takes these two screws. I generally remove this piece as well. Make it a little easier to replace. This would pop off. You'd put your new one on. And then you would reverse everything. Make sure all your screws are nice and tight. Not over tight, but tight. Especially these two, because it holds the blade. And if they aren't tight, the blade, the whole thing will just vibrate. and it'll leave lines. It'll drive your hands crazy, and sometimes even make a lot of noise. So put that back on. Perfect. So, and usually you can see if it needs to be done, because this piece right here will become very worn and probably even have scratch marks on it. I've seen them pretty worn down, pretty scuffed up, and that is a good sign that it needs to be done. And like I said, I usually do it myself. It's not very hard to figure out. It's just a matter of not losing all your parts. And just pay attention as you take it apart, where everything came from. And just make sure that you do get the blade drive assembly that matches your make and model of your clippers that you are trying to work on. Then I also had a question about how I store my clippered blade, or my corded clippers. Wow. So first off, I don't, and I was told to never wrap it around the clipper itself like this. All of that tight wrapping can cause the fibers in the cord, to fray and break down, and therefore over time ruin the cord. So I was told, let's see, and I'm going to set the clipper down there. It's already kind of wrapped up, but we'll see what we can do here. Straighten out your cord, and then just wrap it around like this. And this is, like I said, this is the way I was taught. So you're going to make little loops, almost like you're rolling up your hose, your garden hose. Some people, I've heard, will do this and they'll get like little bread ties and they will tie it so that it doesn't unravel. And then with the little bread ties, maybe one on either side. And then that goes underneath, and then I store my clipper on the top like that. Back a little bit. All right, so that's how I would store my corded clippers in this situation. This one obviously does not. I would store it off the charging base if it was going to be long term. If I'm using it every day, I leave it on overnight so that it's fully charged for me in the morning. All right. And I thank you for listening. I know there's clipper oil out there. You'll want to make sure that you read the instructions on that and on where to place the oil per your make and model of your clippers. And there's also blade oil out there that you can use as well. And there's several usually points on the blade, not overdoing it, that you would place just a little bit of it. And there is a difference between clipper blade and clipper oil. So if it's the clipper blade, you're going to place it 1, 2, 3 usually, and then down here as well, and here as well. And it's supposed to help lubricate, remove any debris from being in there, as well as stopping any debris from attaching to the blade. So I think that's the basics of everything that was asked of me. So thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next video.